Hi everyone. Are you a mom that is feeling unappreciated? I know firsthand what that feels like, and today we're going to talk about that. But first, those of you that are new here to my channel, I just want to welcome you. My name is Sally Harris, and I'm a mom who walked this difficult road with my daughter for over a decade. And when her life spiraled, so did mine. And I always say it does not have to be that way, and I mean it. It really does not. And so I look forward to getting to know all of you. So in regards to feeling unappreciated, that is something that I think moms in general from the start of time have felt because we try to juggle so many things at one time. When our kids are little, we're handling and figuring out everything for them, and then possibly we're working as well. We might have other kids, we might be married, all these things. We have a lot of responsibilities. And with that comes, there's days where you just feel unappreciated. And for those of you that are completely estranged with your kids, or maybe you're just struggling with a relationship, we tend to feel unappreciated because of the fact that, maybe they're just have cut you off and they're not talking to you anymore. And you feel, there's probably days where you feel like, I have done so much. I gave up so much. I, kind of put my life on hold to raise these kids. And now one or more of them are not speaking to me. And it's all for a variety of reasons, right? There's a list 100 miles long of the reasons why these kids are doing what they're doing and cutting parents off. There's a lot of complex reasons with all of that, so I'm not going to get into that today. But as far as feeling unappreciated, we have to cope with those feelings first and foremost. So we can try to, just let it go and just say it doesn't matter and all of that. But if you don't deal with the emotions in anything related to this, it is going to come back to haunt you because it's going to come back in a different fashion. And sometimes when we don't deal with our emotional pains and our hurts, it comes back as physical pain in our body. And, there's that book out there, it's called Your Body Keeps Score, which I'm super interested in. Actually, I'm going to read that because I believe that wholeheartedly. And I didn't always believe that, I'll be honest. But during this time where I was feeling unappreciated, I also had a sciatica situation for 15 months. I couldn't walk, could barely walk across the room. And I 100% agree now that was emotional because I chose to not do surgery and all of that. But that's a whole nother story. But just remember that if you're starting to feel aches and pains, especially back pain, there's a lot of people will say that back pain is the new ulcer. If you remember way back when everyone had an ulcer when they were stressed, you don't hear about that quite as often anymore. Tends to be back pain now. And I know a lot of moms and a lot of people in general with back pain, and that can be caused from stress too. So I want you to cope with those feelings of unappreciation by, knowing that yes, they're normal. They're normal. You're human. But that's where we have to seek support and encourage this self-care aspect, right? We have to take care of ourselves in the process so these other pains don't happen. I do think also we have to rediscover who we are. We have to just rediscover your own self-worth, rediscover your own identity in someone, as a woman, right? Not just as a mom. A mom is a title we have, but it's not who we are. It's definitely a big part of us, but it's not our only piece. But we moms tend to just give so much to our kids, and there's definitely a time and a place for that. And then there's also a time to let go a little bit and let them fly and let them live their life. And ideally, we want to be in a healthy relationship with them and be a part of their life. But at the end of the day, you really need to focus on you because you're only going to be a better friend, a better mom, a better listener, a better spouse, all these things when you're taking care of yourself. So building a support network is huge. And so for those of you that, some of you have heard about my group coaching program, Grit and Grace, that is an opportunity where moms, amazing moms, come together, and it's a place where there's no judgment. It is a place where you get fed and you feed. It's a place where you are safe. Like I said, no judgment, confidential, all of these things that provide this network of support to when you're going through situations like this, you can be heard and understood in a way that most people can't find, right? Because unless you are surrounding yourself with people who have gone through what you've gone through, like myself, you know, you need to find a group of people that you can do that with. And if it's not with me, I will encourage you to find somebody to be able to do that with. So also remember healing and forgiveness. And a lot of that forgiveness is of yourself, right? We have to forgive others for what they do to us, against us, all of these things. But the forgiveness is for you, not so much them, right? It's so you can let go of it. And so that healing takes place when you can forgive yourself. I think that's the most important person we have to forgive. So I hope that helps you today. There's a lot of closure. A lot of moms get a lot of closure when you're able to do some of that forgiveness and really follow through with it. It's one thing to just say it, but it's another to really, write yourself a letter. Write yourself a note on what you need to forgive and why. Get it out of your head. Get it on paper, just for your eyes only, right? And so some of that can really help. So for those of you also that we've never connected before, the first step in doing any of my programs, as far as my group coaching or one-on-one coaching, is a discovery call. And the link to that will be below as well. And that's a 30-minute consultation. It is not a coaching call. It's not an opportunity where I'm going to coach you. It's where I'm going to learn more about what's going on. And then I can tell you how I believe I could help you. And then we go from there. So I hope that helps, and I'll see you next time.